Well, hello again. Welcome to The Way I Do It. If you haven't been here before, my name is Chris. You can see behind me, I have my International Case 445 baler. I picked this baler up last fall to replace my New Holland baler that was frankly just worn right out. This baler's pretty good. I've run almost 1,500 bales through it this season, and I've got a little problem right now. Well, it's kind of an ongoing problem. The knotter occasionally misties a bale. It'll just come out, and I don't really get to see it because having the kicker on it just blows stuff out, and you can't really see it. So if you read the service manual, the user manual, it tells you what to do when the string's in a certain way, but if you don't see it, it's just laying in the ground, you can't really tell. But right now, I was trying to clean up some wet hay out of the field, and what was happening is the knot was getting wound up around this bill hook. So I'm going to try to, I don't know if these swing out of the way like the New Holland balers, but I'm going to try to get that out of the way and maybe get that string off there. We got a little rainstorm. Get that string off there and sharpen the knife. So what I've done so far is I'm after this one, so I'm taking that out because these are to hold the two together, and then there's another bolt down here in the frame. So we'll see if removing this bolt will let this swing up out of the way like a New Holland baler. Surprising because they made quite a few of these, but there's not a whole lot on the internet for them. And when you look up parts for them, typically at Messick's, you'll see that parts are not available. This baler was made until 85, something 84, 85. The final year production of this baler, they actually went to the, I don't know what the proper name is for it, but it's the New Holland style knotter. So they tried to abandon this knotter and go to what was more familiar to farmers. And this has actually been fine for me. The only problem is when you start baling, you can have knots pile up on that bill hook. It's a little hard to get the first bale out of it, but once you have the first bale through and hay going through it, because what happens is it doesn't have a wiper arm to push the knot off the bill hook. The knot comes off the bill hook by the hay moving through the chamber. So that was real confusing to me at first, but once I realized that, then it was fine. Okay, so let's see if this will swing up out of the way. So we can look at the underside. Okay, I'm just going to cut that string, I guess, because I can't pull it around the bale. Okay, so I cut the string. Now let's see what we can do. Okay, we got another string. So it looks like it was probably doing the right thing, but so we got the one string and we got another string. And then we will just pull that up out of the way. Now, there's supposed to be a way, when you pull this up, there's supposed to be a hole somewhere. You stick a punch in the hole to hold it up. Let me see if I can find that hole. Well, I didn't find that hole, but I propped it up with a 3/4 inch wrench. So what I need to do is get all this twine off this bill hook, and then see what it looks like. Don't have a tripod, so let me do it off camera. All right, the storm's over, and so is my removal of the string. Yeah, it was jammed up in here, and so this this actually sprung back a little bit. You can see it's a little movable here. So it was definitely messing with it. So let me show you another feature on here. So on your New Holland balers, they talk about string 1, 2, and 3. On the International baler, they talk about, I guess it would be called your bale string, which would be the string that is here on the top of the bale, and then it would wrap around the bale and come back to your needle. So there's your bale string and your needle string. So the end of the bale string is held right in here, and you can see the torture's path with which it's held, and then it's got this spring loaded plate that holds it in place. And in the literature they talk about seeing the 2 indentations in the end of that string. So if your knot is untied and you can see the 2 indentations, that means it's your bale string, not your needle string without the knot, which is what I believe I'm getting. I don't know. So the tension put on by the screw determines how firmly it's all held in this torture's path. Now if it's too loose, it can actually pull this string out before you have opportunity to make a bale. If it's too tight, it'll have trouble pulling it out when it goes to make the knot, and then you can have a problem at that point. So yeah, it's just something to look out for. Now let me see if I can find a string with a kind of end. So I think this is one of the strings that were broken, and it appears that knot with a roughly 1/2 inch 13 millimeter tail or loop here, the knot was just tied on the end of the string. Now the other end, the strange part is I'm not seeing where it was held in there, but the little ridges could have disappeared since this has been hanging on my baler for a couple of days. It may have relieved itself. The cut, yeah, that's hard to say. Now the knife is right here, so I don't know. The knife feels pretty sharp to me, but maybe I should take it off and get a better look at it, because how it really functions may not be what it feels like. And the knife is activated by this roller. See that roller? So if you see that, that roller gets kicked out from this cam. And so that'll do the knife on the left side, and it'll do the knife on the right side through this bar. So let me take that knife off and just see if I can dress it up on a stone. So there's your little knife, and it's actually just pinched behind the screw. It sits on those 2 little nubbins. So I'm going to take this to a diamond stone that I have and see if I can improve the edge. Just get a good look at it. The edge does look pretty good. If my New Holland had one of those, it might solve all the problems, but I just don't know how good that edge is. So let me take this to my stone, clean it up, and we'll take another look at it. Okay, so there it is. I ran it over a diamond hone, 1200 grit. Here's the other side. I'm not sure it was bad, but I think it's a little better. I looked up the price, and from online multiple distributors are $25. $25 for one. So yeah, I'll get it back on here without losing it. Okay, got it back on there, and I gave this just a little less than a quarter turn, and that'll tighten the tension holding this in here. And I'm not sure if there was a problem with it being held in too tight or too loose, but we'll see what difference that makes when I bale. If it ends up breaking the string off on the bale side, then we know it's held too tightly. If my knotting problem gets reduced, then I did the right thing. Okay, we got it all back together now. Picked our tools up. So normally I would tie the string to an object after it goes through the needle, but it's up in there, and let's see if it will make a knot and get up where it belongs without so let's fire this baby up. Okay, so yeah, we went out and tried it. I had to empty out, push out 3 bales out of the bale chamber before I got a tied bale. That's because it is so long to the kicker. Okay, but this is what we ended up with. So there's a double bow. It's nice and tight. It's at least 1/2 inch long, like the directions call for. I don't think this leaves any scraps, so I mean the one end that you leave, I guess it would be the bale end, would have been cut, and then when it brings up the knotter end, or the needle end, it cuts it. But I guess the cut's okay. And like I say, it's a good, you know, just because this is pulled through, that's fine. But it gives you at least a 1/2 inch knot. We'll see how it works out when I bale multiple quantities. Now the one on the other side that I didn't do anything with, that looks about the same. That's a nice knot. Okay, so yeah, that's where we are. So we're in the middle of a late June heat wave. It's about 87 degrees here in western New York. And it's nice, only it's not good hay weather because we had a thunder shower already today for about 10 minutes. Enough to get things damp. So yeah, here's my pretty well used but well stored Case International 445. And I hope this helps you. Questions or comments, write them below. If it helped you, give me a thumbs up, give me a subscription. It won't hurt you and it'll help me a lot. I'll be having probably more videos on this baler as time allows. So thanks a lot. That's the way I do it.